the Educational Federation, Universal Show number 8. Today we're going to be talking about Saturn. Saturn is one of the most interesting planets of the solar system. If I wanted, I could make this video 10 hours long, but we're going to make it 10 minutes because that's ridiculous. And also, I probably want to get as much views. And also, who wants to watch a 10-hour video? Saturn is the second biggest planet in the solar system. It is 60% the mass of Jupiter and approximately 100 times the mass of Earth. If you look through Saturn in a telescope, you might see its rings as one solid mass. Also, you'll see it looks really beautiful because it's awesome. But you'll see its rings are one solid mass. However, if you get close to the planet, it looks like the asteroid belt. Big spaces between little objects. Saturn's rings are made of ice, approximately like the size of an ant each. So that's what we mean by big spaces between little particles. So why does Saturn have a ring? Most theories suggest that a moon came very close to Saturn, approximately the size of half our moon, came close to Saturn. And then it got ripped in half by Saturn's gravitational pull. And then those halves got ripped in half. And those halves got ripped in half until you have the ice dust that makes a ring that you have today. It also rains diamonds on Saturn. So yeah, I'm taking a trip there and coming back as a quinquagentillionaire. Saturn has a dark side, though. I know that one side is darker than the other, but that's beside the point. The point is that the storms that happen on Jupiter that I talked about in the last episode are like 800, 900 miles an hour, also happen on Saturn. So no diamonds for me, unless I want to be blown miles. In 50 million years, Saturn will have no rings at all. It'll just be a planet like Jupiter. People won't care as much about it because the rings are the biggest part of Saturn that people care about. I mean, they're like Saturn, yeah, rings. Then there's like some gas behind it, but just rings. If you were to sit on Saturn, well, you can't because Saturn's a gas giant. It's like standing on clouds. What if you fell into Saturn? Short answer, you would die. Long answer, first of all, if you're going from about the orbit of like Titan, its moon, we'll talk about that later in this episode. If you are going from there, it's going to take approximately a day to fall into Titan. And let's hope you have a spacesuit on, because then you'd be dead within about a minute. So, what would happen is, as you enter the rings, it wouldn't hit you like an asteroid because they're little ant-sized particles. However, since Saturn's fast orbital speed, they might end up killing you because they're going so fast. So, you might just die in the ring. But if you're going the opposite way of the ring, which Titan usually is, then you will fall into the atmosphere where it'll get hotter and hotter until you die. It's pretty basic. Saturn has a slightly tilted and elliptical orbit, just slightly, more than any other planet. Unless you think Pluto's a planet. Well, because Pluto is not a planet, it's a dwarf planet. If you put Saturn in a bathtub, it would swim in that bathtub. Because it's not that dense. Okay. Saturn goes around the sun very slowly. 29 years. That means on Saturn I'd be like half a year old. I'm an infant in Saturn. A day on Saturn is 10 hours and 14 minutes. That is very, very fast for such a big planet. This is a little bit about naming. Saturn was named after the Roman god of farming. So yeah, this is really weird. Saturday was named after Saturn. So, yay! It's Saturn Day! Yay! 6th planet of the solar system! Yeah! Well, I mean, Sunday comes from sun, and Monday comes from moon, so... And Greeks used to think that the sun, the moon, and Saturn, and Mercury, and Venus, and Mars, and Jupiter were all planets, and Earth wasn't somehow. So, there's a little bit of history there. Back to astronomy. Saturn's rings are only about approximately 1 kilometer thick, and they're approximately like 9 Earths wide. So, that is quite a thin ring. Thinner than paper. There are a lot of probes orbiting Saturn, but one of the biggest ones is Cassini. Cassini was launched in 1997 and entered the orbit of around Saturn in 2004, and it had been studying it, and now it's going to crash into Saturn, because why not? Well, actually, because they want to study the rings and also the atmosphere, so they're not just doing it just because they want to blow up a spacecraft like I would. The Cassini spacecraft looks more at the moons than the planet, because really it's just gas and rings, but most people care about the rings, as I've said before. And then there's rings, and sometimes there's even rings, and there's rings, and there's also rings. And did I mention rings? Cassini looks like he took the top of the TEF ship and mixed it with a spider and a ton of metal and whatever you could find, like the depths of Saturn's core. I still think the moons of Saturn are even more awesome, especially one. Let's talk about Titan. It's a moon 2 times bigger than our moon. What makes it so special? I mean, it's just an orange rock, right? No, that orange is just the dense atmosphere. Under that is basically an Earth that's small, and instead of water, it's just liquid methane. It's like swimming in a pool of liquid methane. Bad for you, because it's negative 200 degrees. Do not swim in liquid methane. I'm warning you. This liquid methane won't be here forever, so swim in liquid methane as you can, kids! Actually, I would recommend not swimming in liquid methane at all, but did you know that Titan actually has seasons too? That's ridiculous! Though instead of every year, it's every 4 years, and also, it rains, it also lightning storms, and Titan quakes, not earthquakes, because it's Titan, and like, all of those things, like hurricanes too, and tornadoes and such. This is basically a clone of Earth under that orange atmosphere. And also might harbor life, which is a big deal for anybody who wants to be an astrobiologist. Since Titan has 1/3 Earth's gravity, it might be hard to sustain life, except for alien tardigrades. Alien tardigrades can live anywhere. It's the best part of tardigrades and the best part of aliens. And they're able to live in water because they're water bears, not aliens. It's only a matter of time before the alien tardigrades attack. Titan also has tides from Saturn. It goes up and down the water, and then it has this island that sometimes just disappears. And then it comes back and disappears in the summer, and reappears in the winter, and in the summer it's flooded, and like that. And there's also other things like peninsulas. There's all of the landforms and water bodies you have here, except you don't have like floodplains and all of that stuff that requires like soil and yeah, they don't have that. They have mountains though. Mountains are a pretty big deal there. And you have like mountains. You have mountains, hills, water bodies like oceans, lakes, and islands and peninsulas. You're basically a clone of Earth. So congratulations, Titan. You are awesome. You're the most awesome thing in the solar system. Except for the sun. And Earth. And the moon. Thanks for watching this episode of Universal Show. We thank you.